How's it going, everyone? My name is Dieugirl, and welcome back to Dragonfable. Last time we left off, we had defeated Reawakening in the finale of the Reawakening War. Now, it's time for the Epilogue. Of course, with this update, there's a couple extra things that came along, but I'm going to get straight to the story, and then, if I remember, I'll do the extra things at the very end, so you guys won't miss out on anything. So let's do it. Okay, first we're going to go up. And in case you're wondering, no, you can't just take this from the Book of Lore yet. And then left to Wanta. Luris. Notha Lair. Love that name, by the way. And the Epilogue. And since I won't get a chance to talk except for little tidbits as well as references, I really want to say real quick, this is a redo. I recorded this originally, but then as I was surfing after work, I was surfing on Twitter and I found out that they redid a bit of the dialogue, so it means I need to redo what I did. So no hard feelings, Dragonfable team. I'm not mad at all. But yeah, let's do it to it. Still love the music, by the way.
Fish stew's ready, everyone.
Now, when I first saw this, fish stew, I'm thinking, wait. Because if you remember, in the very last clip of the war, Notha was wondering what they're going to do with the remains. Go ahead and show that clip, please. Although, what are we going to do about Remthalis' remain? At least it's going smoother than it was. Sparks. Nom 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 nom. Cappy's happy. I don't know. This doesn't feel right. Is there something wrong with your stew? I can't say I've had anything quite like it before. Now, before I continue, I do want to say that it was thought that, wait, did they make Remthalis... I'm gonna get the cat out of the bag now. Did they make Remthalis into the stew? You'll find out in just a minute. Sorry guys, but I don't want to spoil anything. Anything I don't have to. What do you think, Milos? I do not have the required mechanical processes to ingest food. But I'm sure it's delicious. Ah, right. We'll have to figure something out for that. With your permission, of course. Of course. No, the stew's fine. Delicious, even. Was it really okay to have Remthalis just... Wanta. Yeah. Lock and Key will make sure whatever remains of Cthulhu's influence does not escape. You say that, but I find it hard to believe they're infallible. The Makers are inside them too, after all. And if the madness that took Remthalis were to spread, it seems risky. The remains are dormant and secure. Risk is minimal. Besides, it's only temporary. They just have to hold everything until we get back to Lashayak. I'm not one for nostalgia, but it really has been quite a while. Once I get a lab set up, maybe excavate a few artifacts. We'll make a separate secure unit for Remthalis. So he's not the stew. Let's address the elephant in the room. Remphalis is not the stew. Cappy. Yay, we're not eating our enemy. Equilibria. Whispers. Cthulhu. I'm still trying to make sense of everything. What happened to Remphalis? I can't say I know anything about this Cthulhu entity, but as for Remphalis himself, the way I understand it, Remphalis and his people were tasked by the Avatars with keeping watch over something or other. Yeah, if I can play a clip of Remphalis' last bit of dialogue, I think it would make sense here. It's almost like he's lost control of the environment around him. Mother. Father. My people. Are you finally free? Well, whatever it was broke free, and the Abyssal Elves were enslaved. Remphalis managed to escape, but never forgave the Avatars for abandoning them to their fate. Something that broke free and enslaved them. I think it's fair to say that was Cthulhu. Oh, right. That makes sense. I see. What we fought then, that was this Cthulhu? No, I don't think so. Not entirely. It was different from the Cthulhu I encountered before. Similar, but different. I think Remphalis maybe never truly escaped Cthulhu. So Cthulhu's influence and Remphalis' desire for revenge against the Avatars and Equilibria must have coalesced in his dreams. So he wasn't just angry about the Avatars, but Equilibria too? Ah, that might have been my fault. Or at least, he learned of Equilibria from me, I think. Sorry, slipped a bit into Wanta there, but... It sounded like Cthulhu had some knowledge of Equilibria and whispers beyond your understanding, Natha. Sparks playing with his feet. Curious, that. Whatever the case, I imagine the madness must have latched onto Remphalis' obsession and amplified it somewhat. Cthulhu probably wasn't happy about the Avatars trying to contain it either. What do you think, Milos? You've been pretty quiet. I do not recognize any of these designations. I am sorry, I cannot be of any more help. It's okay, Milos. We're just trying to make sense of everything. I do have a curiosity, though. Remphalis mentioned things repeating or staying the same. Yes, again, from the finale. I'll go ahead and play that clip if I can. Don't you see? Everything is the same. The same, yet so different. Always the same. The same. Always changing. So slow. So fast.
It's all the same as before, as it always has been, and always will be. To be disturbed, awoken, again, and again, and again, and again. Everything different. Everything...
Just how old is Cthulhu? When I first met it, it mentioned that we had met before. A lot of other cryptic weirdness, just like this time.
You don't suppose we get reincarnated or reborn after we die, do you?
Oh, such blasphemy from the holy warrior.
I'm only asking the question as hypothetical.
That's how it starts, you know. Right, too far. Sorry. As for reincarnation, even among the exalted, there was no mention of people being reborn, or souls returning from death, as it were. I think, during the Cat Saga, there's a clip at the very, very end where Sarandi asked us not to bring her back through necromancy. Yeah. Yeah, because that would be dipping into necromancy, I think. At least from my own studies. And it was certainly never a theory followed by Lashayak in my time. After all, I was directed into the throne to look into longevity. From my understanding, when people die, their mana typically returns over time to the mana core. What happens after that, I cannot say. There are exceptions, of course, but none that I have studied particularly in depth. With how old Cthulhu seems to be, maybe it has trouble understanding what happens when it wakes. I know it recognized me, or thought it did. Who knows? Maybe it is an ancient, well, as I am, or older, and perhaps its memories are just as frayed.
Maybe it isn't right to keep the makers as they are, if this is the sort of threat they were protecting us from.
Ah, but we were able to protect ourselves.
We can't protect everyone.
Sparks, nom nom nom.
Okay, I'm done with mine. I'll have yours.
And neither could the avatars. I can't say I'm not interested in Cthulhu, but from what we saw happened to Remphalis, yeah, if I can find that again and again and again and again clip, I'll play it again. And again. And again. And again. And again. And again. Oh, fudge. And again. And again. Oh boy. And again. And again. And again. And again. And again.
Some things are better left alone. For now, at least. Oh, that reminds me, Milos. Yes, Tristina. How did Natha convince you to fight against the Avatars? Natha offered me that which I wanted most. Life, a new form. I was very convincing.
That was all? That seems like a rather lopsided transaction.
If I survived, I did not know what would happen to me. Perhaps I would have been free. There is a very distinct possibility that the Avatars would have imprisoned me or attempted to coerce me into their service. You freed Milos from the... what was it again? A corrupting seed. Shadow Scythe.
I think Nemu made a comment, actually, about that. The Shadow Scythe. I'll put it at the bottom of your screen when I can. The Shadow Scythe. That's one of the things the Avatars were afraid of. And I think Sepulture has ties to it?
Ah, I recall the Makers bringing it up when we first met them. Sepulture was that villain you fought before, wasn't he? And as I learned from Milos, it turns out the Shadow Scythe are older than even the Exalted.
Sparks. Gotta burn off that stew, huh, Sparks?
The Makers feared themselves becoming influenced by something, but that seemed distinct from the Shadow Scythe. They feared the influence of the Whispers, though I imagine they've been conflicted for a long while now. It sounds like you've dealt with the Shadow Scythe before, Tristina. Do you have any insight into this? Sepulture and the mysterious stranger were a lot more actively evil than even some of the Malurus. Destructive forces of doom. Doom? Perhaps the Shadow Scythe is a splinter of the Whispers? No, that doesn't make sense if it came before. I'm working with incomplete information. How exciting! This begs further research. Right. So, Milos, we freed you from the influence of doom. Why turn against the Makers? I was free, but I held no gratitude for the Avatars. Wanta and Tristina, you freed me despite the Avatar's orders, to see me destroyed or subjugated by themselves. I would never be free to exist while they remained.
Welcome back, Sparks. Enjoy your flight.
You don't know that. Given their previous behavior patterns, it was a logical inference. Despite Natha's eagerness and her own obsessions, I never felt used or coerced, as I feared from Remphalis. You see? Nothing underhanded or sneaky. I didn't force Milos to do anything they didn't want to.
That's reassuring.
I suppose I can try to understand.
What about that other dragon egg?
What's up, Sparks? Stu disagreeing with you? They are curious about the egg of the Savior. It was returned to the Avatars after The heroes defeated Voina. Do you know what happened to it after? I hate to think of it lost in the Deadlands. This egg is important, is it? The egg contains the counterpart to Sparks, the savior, the creator. Nothing I've ever heard of. Sounds like celestial or equilibrium nonsense to me. Do you know what happened to it, Lock and Key? We do not. Wherever the avatars may have placed it before their slumber, we do not know. I'm sure it'll turn up eventually. Important things tend to, after all. They certainly do.
Sparks. I heard that look as if I've ever heard one, seen one.
Enough. That's enough heavy talk for one night. We should be celebrating our victory. There'll be plenty more time to talk later, before we head back to Lashayak.
Yeah. Sparks.
We've had quite the adventure, haven't we? Doesn't have to end here.
I suppose the grandkids can take care of themselves a little longer.
There's still so much to see. I would like to explore more of this land as well. You're all welcome to stay as long as you wish.
And I'm sure your adventures will one day lead you to Lashayak as well. You'll be welcome as a hero, of course.
As one journey ends, another begins. Such is the hero's story. So solemn. We need to lighten up a bit. Hey, Spruce, can you get us a round of moglinberry juice or two? The good stuff. The better stuff? I just want more.
Sure thing!
Note to self. Procure a keg or two for transport back to Lashayak. I'm sure there's plenty of room in Lock and Key.
Swiping some for later, huh? Okay, later that evening. Work's turned off, so sorry about the lag, folks. How does Cappy jump sideways but stay on my head? It's over. It's finally over, Serenity. From the cultists to Valtrith, Cadim, to the Malors. But it's never over, is it? I know there will be more threats to lore, more mysteries to uncover, more friends and foes, more struggles and loss, more victories and more moments of peace. More opportunities to praise the Lord, definitely. I'm lucky enough to be free to make my own choices, follow my own path, or rather the Lord's path for us.
And I have the power and friends to see me safely through the dangers along the way. But sometimes I can't save everyone. Case in point. If I can find a Bible verse about God's guidance and light for us, I will definitely put that at the bottom of your screen. Is that fate or destiny decreeing when someone's life must end? Is it doom, overwhelming and destroying, taking whatever it can?
Sounds like you have a lot on your mind, Tristina.
Hey, Wanta.
I certainly can't say I really know all the answers to this destiny and doom stuff either. And whatever happened to Remphalis, it makes me feel so helpless.
How are you holding up?
What? Because I'm old?
No, I didn't mean. It's just been a lot.
I'm kidding, Tristina. I'll admit, it's been a few years since my blade has had such a workout. And of course, I miss my children and grandchildren. And then there's everything that happened to the Makers.
Yeah, brief interruption, folks. Sorry about that. I am still working on that episode. I'm so sorry it's taken so long, but it's on the back burner. I'm sorry. Anyways, back to your video. Yeah, it's been a lot. A lot.
It's an odd feeling, knowing that they're no longer watching over me, over Shayak. Or perhaps they never really were. Not entirely.
It's a big revelation.
Something like that.
Have you decided what you're going to do with that information?
Oh, I'm sure Notha will find some way to spread it. Or the rumor will get out on its own. But I'm going to keep it to myself. So many in the Shayak are happy, thanks to what the Makers started. To turn that over, for the sake of what? A petty truth?
So nothing's going to change for you?
Far from it. The Shayak isn't perfect, and there are those that need protecting. Even those who doubt the Makers or the Holy Throne.
Still object to that name, but...
Ah, such blasphemy coming from the mouth of Wanta Fa'it. But I am no longer a tool of the Makers. I am a hero, and I choose to follow in your footsteps, Tristina.
I'm honored.
And if you ever find yourself visiting the Shayak, do stop by for a visit. And maybe an adventure or two.
Of course.
I'd better head back in. I could do with another bowl of stew. And make sure Notha's not getting into any trouble.
Right. I'll be back in a moment. Jeez, Cappy, lay off the sugar. Good gravy, you're hyper today. Anyways, yeah. Oh my
gosh. It's a lot to... Well, when you look at it, after the Cative Saga, and after this saga with Remphalis and the Malures and all that, it is a lot to take in. It is a lot to kind of reflect. And remember the lessons of the past, lest we be doomed to repeat them. So many discoveries to be made. So many mysteries to solve. Questions to answer. Adventures to be had. I'd better head back in before Sparks gets up to any mischief. Oh, that was perfect timing. They seem happy with their results. As they should be. They were victorious. Would they be upset if we were to leave? They would. Emotional attachment can be conductive to observational endeavors. Then the observation shall continue. We still have much to learn. We still have much to share. Beautiful. Beautiful. I couldn't have asked for a better ending, really. It answered a lot of questions, and it just it did more. It really did more than just wrap things up in a nice tidy little bow. I'm surprised it reached back all the way back to the Cative Saga, given how long ago that was, like 2 or 3 years ago. I did not know that the Malures Saga and the Cative Saga were connected. I honestly didn't see it, because the Cative Saga kind of had its own epilogue, as you recall. But yeah, oh my gosh, wow, just wow. Before I get to this update's other bonus content, I do want to show you real quick. I'll replay the clip that we just did of the old recording, what they said about the Shadow Scythe, and then I'll replay the clip I just recorded just now. Now, please note that I had already rendered the video by the time they came out with the announcement that they had rewritten the script for the Shadow Scythe, so it might be a little pre-rendered, but enjoy. You freed Milos from the... what was it again? A corrupting seed. Shadow Scythe. Shadow Scythe. That sounds familiar. What's that? You wouldn't have heard of it before, now, Yuanta. A faction of darkness aligned with doom. Darkness? Most likely strongly influenced by the Whispers. I believe they were quite active on this continent some time ago. The mysterious stranger and sepulture. Ah, you mentioned them before, Tristina. Probably what the Avatars thought the Malures were associated with, now that I think about it. And they wouldn't have been entirely wrong. You freed Milos from the... what was it again? A corrupting seed. Shadow Scythe. The Shadow Scythe. That's one of the things the Avatars were afraid of. and I think Sepulture has ties to it?
Ah, I recall the Makers bringing it up when we first met them. Sepulture was that villain you fought before, wasn't he?
And as I learned from Myelos, it turns out the Shadow Scythe are older than even the Exalted.
The Makers feared themselves becoming influenced by something, but that seemed distinct from the Shadow Scythe.
They feared the influence of the Whispers, though I imagine they've been conflicted for a long while now. It sounds like you've dealt with the Shadow Scythe before, Tristina. Do you have any insight into this?
Sepulture and the mysterious stranger were a lot more actively evil than even some of the Malurus.
Destructive forces of doom.
Doom? Perhaps the Shadow Scythe is a splinter of the Whispers? No, that doesn't make sense if it came before. I'm working with incomplete information. How exciting! This begs further research.
Yep, just what Milo said. As one journey ends, another begins. Such is the hero's story. Yep. And I didn't earn anything because I played it before. Many times. Charm of the Makers. Yeah, I'll keep it so I can sell it. Or rather to show off this next ability. Okay, and that was it for this week's update. But we are not done yet. Next feature, rather, I want to show off the interaction interface for Sparks for the Dragon Amulet got an update, which I'm very happy to see. It's got a few. Of course, I finished. Thank you, Nemu, to help me finish training Sparks. But it's got two. You can summon him as either guest or pet. Right now, I'm just going to go back. And you can now interact with your dragon. You can pet. Okay, speak. I don't hear anything. I don't know if you guys do, but I really don't hear anything. I think I have sound on. Beg. Down. He lays down. Sit. It's like a dog. Walk. Yeah, I'll definitely be using some of these clips for maybe future thumbnails. Oh, this one's cute. Fetch. He goes after the stick. I love that little grin at the end, like, I got it. Clean. I don't know where that water comes from, though. And finally, sleep. Aww. Have a good nap, buddy. Okay, and yeah, courier, for example. Dragon stands ready to sell your items. Okay, yeah, we need to sell that extra, the extra Forgotten Dream. We need to sell that. It beats, yeah, 1 second. Aww. Hi, buddy. He's cuddly. Okay, when you show this off real quick. When he does that, when he's cuddly, you pet and watch. Automatically rolls over. It's a little bit different than the regular script. From Sparks turns over, like you pet their belly. So yeah. Anyway, thank you, Dragonfable, for that. Thank you. So that's it for this week's episode. If you liked the video, please like and comment down below. I really do appreciate it. A special thank you to Verus, who alerted me on Twitter that the script had been changed and I needed to do a re-recording. I know I didn't seem grateful at first, but trust me, I am. Thank you. Take care of each other. God bless you all. And I'll see y'all later. Oh, I gotta give my voice a break. 2 recordings in one day. That's a new new normal record for me.